Hello everyone, welcome to this month's new moon and new energies, energy insight for September 2021. I am Jackie Ellis. I'm an energetics master and intuitive mentor and Reiki master. I see energy and I help people decode the energy within them. This month is seriously off the charts good. So good. So bear with me. What I'm going to do is, as always, I am going to give you some insight as to the overall energies, the messages that came through for the overall energies, as well as I'm going to go deeper and break it down into messages that came through for each pillar of life. Now, the pillars of life, in case you are not aware, are career, relationships, health, wealth, personal development, and spirituality. And when I ask my guides as to the insight as how this would affect those pillars of life, I get different messages for each one, but they all seem to intermingle, interconnect with one another for our personal journey. So there's been a couple things that have come through. If you go to my energy insight for September 7th to the 12th, that will be released around this time that you will see this, or very shortly afterwards. You will see that I will reference Revelations 12 in that weekly energy as well, and it's very important because we've been shown that there's a very strong connection to Revelations 12 and the verses 1 through 4 in this month, and it starts the week of the new moon. So stay tuned. It's going to be good. Now, as I sat down and explored what the messages were, were coming through as, something inside of me was resisting and wanting to filter what I was supposed to say. So, to prevent that, I didn't write as many notes as I normally do. And I am going to wing it. I am actually doing more than winging it. I'm going to allow my guides to flow through me, to give me the words that I need to share with you today. And I'm doing that specifically so that I am setting myself aside and not allowing myself to filter what's coming through. Because that doesn't benefit me and it doesn't benefit you. So, without further ado, the overall energies, the message that came through for the overall energies was, we were created in the image of God, and it is time we own it. We were created in the image of God, and it's time we own it. He wanted us to know that all that is available to us in heaven is available to us here on earth. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting to transform our lives until after living a life without struggle until we die? Why are we waiting? Now's the time. Now is the time to be the change that we need. Now is the time to transform our lives so that we can enjoy this life on earth, so that we can actually contribute to this time on earth and be the change that we need, so that we can also be the change the world needs. And I'm saying this very specifically because it's important for this month. This month is a month of massive transformation. We have had months of massive transformation leading up to this month. Literally, Revelations 12, 1 through 4, speaks about a woman cloaked by the sun, standing on the moon, giving birth to a baby. The stars on September 11th are going to show us the woman cloaked by the sun, standing with the moon at her feet. Now, energetically, the sun represents the masculine energy that's there to protect us, there to honor us, there to hold us with the highest integrity and guide, help give us the space that we need in order to do the creation that we've come here to do. To be the person we are meant to be. The moon energy represents the feminine energy that has always been there to support us while we're creating this new life, while we're creating what we're supposed to create, guiding us and helping us, support us as we go through our life. There has been energetic forces that have stopped us from understanding the importance of this verse, that have tried to hide things from being obvious and making us think that it's not aligned with God. But it is. It is. We were created in the image of God. God has shown us many times that there is a divine feminine and a divine masculine working together as a team. And we were created in that image, meaning that we had both of these energies flowing through us to create one unity, to create one divine flowing unity. And when we are birthing this month, we are creating this month as an individual, we're being asked to rebirth, to give birth to a new you, to a new to us a higher version of yourself. And we are as an individual, but in doing that as a collective, we are allowing ourselves to enter into and create a new age. We are leaving the age of Pisces and entering into the age of Aquarius. We are in that transition. We are in that birth, that creation. We are giving birth to the new age. And that giving birth to, in the age of Pisces, we were meant to rise up out of the waters of destruction. We were meant to And when we were meant to rise up out of the waters of destruction and embrace who we are, who we were made in the image of, and we were embrace the power within us so that we could start to live in divine flow and know what that was like. The age of Aquarius is living in divine flow. Water flowing. But there's a second part to these ages that people don't realize. In the age of the Pisces, the supporting energy that helps guide us to do that, the supporting energy that's to help us rise out of the waters of destruction, is the feminine energy, is the Virgo, is the feminine energy. In the age of Aquarius, we are to learn how to live more in divine flow, while our masters, our leaders, are showing us and supporting us and helping us guide us to create things that we've never created before. We will have more advances on technology, we will create more advances in holistic healing practices. We will have more advances that are creative for just general ways of living than we've ever had before, because we are embracing the creative energies within us and knowing how to live with them. There has been an illusion as to what the masculine energy was and how it was separated from us and disconnected from us and it was outside of us, when in truth it always has been inside of us, flowing with the feminine energies. We were conditioned to not see it, not feel it, not trust it. And frankly, it stagnated our spiritual journey. So the messages that I'm being asked to share with you today for the month of September is: we were created in the image of God, and it is time to own it. It's time to embrace our inner energies, our inner powers that God gave us, and trust them so that we can rise up out of the waters of destruction and live more in flow. The pillars of life. Career was the first pillar that I asked about. And the message that came through very fittingly is, in order to transition into the age of Aquarius, we need the masters of that time to step into their power. We need the masters of that time to let go of the resistance that you've been feeling, let go of the resistance to change and flow within your inner powers and become the master you were meant to be. Become the master that you signed up to be when you came here on earth. Now that's one side. The general side for the people that aren't quite there yet, aren't quite ready to hear that part. When it comes to your career, things might be, you might find that there has been lots of changes happening at work or within your career life. And you felt this resistance. Let go of the resistance to the change and see what's possible for you. When we let go, when we surrender and sacrifice what isn't serving us any longer, it now allows us to step forward and embrace what's possible. Number 3, or the second pillar, is relationships. Now, what came through for this one was know your priorities and place your focus on what matters. Don't hold the expectations, because then you'll end up manifesting something that you didn't desire. When we're holding on to expectations, we are setting ourselves up or setting the other person up for failure, for a resistance, for a struggle that it didn't need to happen. I want you to ask yourself in your relationships this month is, where is your focus? Where is your focus? What matters to you most? If the relationship that you're striving for or that you desire is a desire that you want to have, then make sure that your energies are aligned going towards that. If we're focusing on what isn't happening, then that's where the energy is going to flow. But if we're focusing on what's possible and just making sure that we are in more flow, more at peace, more calm, finding joy, having more happiness in our day, then life will be easier. Life will be easier. You know, it's a couple things things have been coming up. There's been lots of polarity that have been happening in relationships where there's a combative energy that's happening and people are trying to control one another and control the outcome because they have their own expectations of how that relationship needs to be. What if we just released the expectations and accepted the person as having their own perspective and having their own personality that is where they are in their journey, and just love them for who they are. And on the flip side, if you can't accept them as who they are, if you honestly cannot, your expectations, your desires for your relationship are just something that person cannot give you, then that's a decision that you need to make, to step away And when you do that, you will honor yourself and you will honor them, because you're no longer placing these unrealistic expectations and setting them up for failure. And then you're not setting yourself up for failure either. Because honestly, if you choose to step away from a relationship that's not in alignment with how you want to live your life, that's not failure. That's honoring yourself and the other person with the highest integrity. If there's some way to work it out, is there some way to, just they're who they are, and I love that person for who they are, and I will do my part in making sure that I'm not holding them up towards unrealistic expectations for who they are. Then if that's your commitment and you're okay with what the end relationship might look like, whatever that might be, then wonderful. But if you're honestly not happy, then decisions need to be made. Choices need to be made. And you, as an individual, need to be the one to change. We can't change other people. And we can't expect them to change, especially if they have no interest in no knowledge that they need to change. Because a lot of people don't even realize how they are. Health relates to, in this case, health relates to our physical wellness, our emotional wellness, and our mental well-being. And the message that came through for health was, have the courage to step into a new healthy you. Have the courage to step into a new healthy you. So yes, your intuition will guide you with thoughts and feelings as to where you can expand and grow into healthier habits. Trust that guidance and take those small steps and feel into them and feel, are they fun? Do they make you feel good? Is this exciting for you? And I'm not talking about that I have to do this and I have to do that and I should have done this and I should have done that. That's all negative self-talk. That's all, that's the brain telling you that you can't do it. And acknowledge the self-judgment and alchemize that very quickly. And step into your power again. Allow the courage to flow through you, so then you can take those tiny steps forward. Wealth, in my perspective, how I represent wealth is our quality of life. Now, it's not just finances, it is our overall quality of life, how we want to live. And this one was a little bit, it very much relates to a transitioning period. For many people, our quality of life isn't necessarily where we would like it to be. It's not necessarily where we would like it to be. But I want you to know that I'm being told that you may feel like you're at the end of the road, but you are within a transitional time and you are supported always. So keep going. Keep going towards that transformation. Keep stepping into your power because your energies are aligning for what's to come. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? The abundance is there for you. Just keep going. Personal development. You are the master of your destiny. And only you can decide to be the change you need. You are the master of your destiny, and only you can decide to be the change you need. You are the power, and the power is and always has been within you. You know, along my journey, along my own personal development, every step that I took, sure, I was guided to take certain steps, but I had to intentionally choose to do that. Nothing was forced on me. In fact, if I wasn't ready to take a step forward, it was okay. If you know, and lots of times I was shown that if I didn't take the step, then I would still continue where I was, and it may not have been pleasant for me. I didn't ask for this life. I didn't ask to talk about energies. My previous career was an industrial engineer. This is as far away from like what I talk about now. There's patterns and there's processes, yes, but that's about as connected as it is to industrial engineering. I didn't ask for this particular journey. I didn't ask for these particular gifts, but they were mine. And when I was shown to them, I had to choose to accept them. I had to choose to step into this path each and every time. And every morning that I wake up and every time I go to bed, I have to choose to continue. Because that is what being a master is understanding where the learning is, where the opportunities lie, and being able to really step into that role and see the patterns and see how to help other people, whether I've been down that route or not. I'm helping people that are going through stuff that I've never gone through, but I can see the patterns and I've been shown what they need, and it resonates with them on a deep level. So yes, when my friend called me an energetics master, that kind of resonated. Because I've done the work to earn that master role. And that's what we're being asked to do. We are being asked to step into what we're intended to master, because the next age needs leaders, and those leaders will be masters at what they are good at, what they're intended to help with. Are you ready? Are you ready to do what you were supposed to do? Are you ready to be the change that you need so that you can be the change the world needs? Are you ready? Spirituality. In spirituality, spirituality doesn't necessarily connect to the religious aspects of what typically spirituality means. To me, a spiritual path, a spiritual journey is really a deep connection of getting to know who you are, to rebirthing who you are and creating a new you. A new you that is closer to what your soul is calling you to be. And that's the journey, is one step at a time, getting closer to being aligned with our soul's desires. And honoring ourselves like our soul wants us to honor ourselves. And when we do that, we create a very intimate relationship with ourselves, with God, and we really truly trust ourselves, and we trust God, and we trust other people, and we trust life. We trust the journey. The message that came through really relates, for spirituality, relates to Revelations 12. And for those of you that have not seen any of the 2 videos that I've done for around Revelations 12, I'm going to bring it up again. So Revelations 12 is verse 1 to 2 is, a great and wondrous sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Now, this month we have been feeling very creative energies, so it's very much relating to a woman that is about to give birth. Very creative energies, very, very transformative energies, in that we are transforming lives. Individually, this is a sign that we are to allow the masculine energy, the sun, to cloak us, to protect us, and allow the feminine energy to give us the grounding, support, and guidance that we need as we do it. As we give birth to this new transformation of our life, of ourselves, individually. As a collective, we are giving birth as a collective into a new age, into the age of Aquarius. And all signs point to this rebirth being a success. So if you're wondering if you're going to make it, you will, because we are supported always. You have been sent courage, strength, and support, the support you need to take each step. And I want you to remember this always, because there could be, and I've been told that there probably will be, some things that are going to rock your world and impact how you think of yourself, how you relate to beliefs that you've been holding on to, how information that you thought was real that may not be real the way you thought it was. Things are going to come out, things that have been, secrets that have been hidden in plain sight. That's the word. That's the phrase that has been coming through for me for months. I've had this message for a year now. A year now I have been told that I will be shown, and now I'm being told that everyone will be shown hidden secrets that were hidden in plain sight. Things that we thought were real will be revealed as illusioned. Things that we didn't think existed will be revealed as existing. So for some of you, it could be a bumpy ride. For some of you, if you focus on the waters, you're gonna feel like you're drowning. If you focus on the muck, you're gonna feel like you're drowning. Other people are raising their hands and asking to be pulled up. Out of the troubled waters. Over the last few months, as I have been guided to coach people and to show them how to alchemize this energy, how to use the Light Mastery map, this one, how to use that map. You can download that at my website and sign up for any of the freebies, and you'll get access to it. It's in the VIP portal. As I've been guided to show people how to do this and how to use this to step into their powers and get to know their powers on a deep level, get to know their energies on a deep level and decode between the powerlessness energy and the power, the divine power, they are able to live more in divine flow than they ever have before. And life has less struggle and there's more joy and more happiness and more calmness than there ever has been. And so when they're going into a month like we're about to go into, they're not bracing themselves. They're going, I've got this. I'm good. Yes, I might be shocked by things that come my way, but I know how to step into my power again. I know I have the tools that I need. Now, if you're new to all this and need some assistance, reach out. Reach out. I'll help you. The second part of this verse is actually pretty important for the spirituality pillar. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his head. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that he might devour her child the moment it was born. Now, I'm going to tell you this because I did a video back in May, and now I typically don't analyze Bible verses as part of my message. But I did a video in May because I was guided to do it, that spoke about these 4 verses and broke them down and talked about the analogies between stars and horns and crowns and dragons and the woman and the moon and the sun and all of that. And I'll put the link down below so that you can watch that video as well. And that really relates to the individual journey. From a collective standpoint, the dragon in the second half of this, the verse 3-4, very well could represent messages of certain entities in the world, certain groups in the world that have believed that they were doing the right thing by stopping the ascension, stopping us from knowing certain things, hiding certain aspects, withholding certain information. And they believed that they were doing it in a way that was protecting us for our own good. Because honestly, my perspective is that, and my perspective's not exactly aligned with a lot of people in the spiritual world. My perspective is that at the time, they thought what they believed was the right way, was the aligned way. And they were scared. They were scared to believe, and they refused. They were resisting to learn that they were resisting. They were in resistance from doing what they were being asked to do by God. And this is carried on for generations and generations and generations and generations. And there's a lot of people out there on one side that are saying, that are believing all of this illusion that we have been conditioned to believe. And then the other side is saying that these people are evil and out to hurt us. I'm somewhere in the middle. I honestly don't believe that they intended to hurt us. Have they manipulated us? Have they stopped us from being closer to where we needed to be in order to easily transition into the age of Aquarius? Yes. They have definitely delayed the ascension process that we all needed to get to in order to transition into the age of Aquarius. But all is not lost. I have actually been shown that we can ascend very efficiently by clearing out the 8 chakras, which coincidentally are still around that lady's head in that vision. And the 4 that were swatted down that we have spotty information about are still available to us. We just don't know as much information, so they're harder for us to access unless we get to a high enough level where we can access those easier. We have to get to a higher vibrational level and use universe and our guides to help us access those easily. And I know that because I've done it. whatever the situation ends up being, wherever the next few months take us, I want you to remember that we need to individually be the changes that we need in order for the collective to be the changes for the world. We need to remember that we have courage, strength, and support flowing through us, always, through every step that we need to take. And I want you to know that if you were to go to Revelations 12 and continue reading, the dragon does not devour the baby. The baby is safe. Your rebirth is safe and will happen. The age of Aquarius that we are being birthed into, that we are transitioning into, will happen. Will it happen as smooth as we would like it to? Maybe. It might be bumpy. It might be bumpier for some than others. But anything can change. Anything is possible. It doesn't have to be as bumpy as we might expect it to be. We can choose to resist, or we can choose to let go and allow what's possible to come towards us. And when we do that, there's less struggle and less strife. Always. Always. And that's part of this journey. Wow. I honestly did not expect to talk about a lot of this stuff. I didn't. So, I'm glad I didn't write it down, because I probably would have filtered a lot of it out. So, I hope this resonated with you. If you've got any questions, please post them in the comments below. Send me a message, whatever you're comfortable with. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. On September 4th, we are meeting in our Soul Circle session actually meets to discuss this very video, to see like the ins and outs and how that applies to the individual Soul Talk members that join us for the Soul Circle session, and really engage in a very deep conversation around all of the insights that came through. And this one is probably going to be really interesting discussion. So I'm super excited about Saturday's Soul Circle session. If you'd like more information about it, let me know. I will drop you a link. If you're not part of Soul Talk, you can still join us. I will send you a link so then you can join us in that discussion. But until then, I would love for you to share the love if this at all resonated with you. Share this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you feel compelled to thank me for the energy insights that I've been giving and any of the other video content that I provide, and would like to contribute by buying me a virtual coffee, I very much appreciate it, because I use these funds to help support my family and to help me continue making content like this for people like you. Soul Talk membership is a passion project of mine that really resonates with me and the Soul Talk members that are in there already. And we would love for you to join us. If you'd like more information about that, the link is down below, and there is no obligation to for length of time for the Soul Talk membership. You can join for 1 month, you can join for however long you want to join, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Until next time, thank you for joining me on this journey, and be simply you.